Welcome to today's session. In this session, we'll deal with energy flow and trophic levels. This is part of our ecology series, so let's get started. So what is energy? See, energy is the basic source responsible for all metabolic activity on earth. For us, the sun is the primary source of all energy for all the ecosystems. The sun gives out solar radiation, that is a form of energy which is used by the producers to produce food. What are these producers? Producers are plants which use this sunlight, the incoming sunlight, to make their food by a process called photosynthesis. Of the total solar radiation that the sun provides to the earth, known as the incident solar radiation, less than 50% of it, only less than 50% of it is photosynthetically active radiation, or known as PAR. I again repeat, it is photosynthetically active radiation. See, this is the only amount of light energy that is actively used in photosynthesis. It is in the spectral range between 400 to 700 nanometers. Plants can use this range of radiation for photosynthesis. And again, of this 50% of power that we receive, plants are able to capture only 2 to 10% of it. That means only 2 to 10% of PAR, or photosynthetically active radiation, is actually being used by the plants on earth. So this is how the energy from sun is captured by producers. Producers are nothing but plants which make food out of it, and this energy is further sent out from plants to the next levels. See, in this diagram you need to look at one thing. These arrow marks show the flow of energy, alright, and all these arrow marks are in one direction. That means the flow of energy on earth is unidirectional, it doesn't go back. Okay. The previous diagram showed how the sunlight was utilized by the primary producers to make food. Now let's see how this food accumulated by the primary producers is actually taken up by the higher organisms. Look at this diagram. This diagram shows different trophic levels. For example, at the base there are primary producers. Primary producers are nothing but plants which perform photosynthesis and accumulate food. These are fed upon by the primary consumers which feed on the primary producers for food. They can be examples like small insects, ants, grasshoppers, etc. They feed on the primary producers. Above them are the secondary consumers that feed upon the primary consumers, and above them are the tertiary consumers that feed upon the secondary consumers. Okay. So the tertiary consumers feed upon the secondary consumers feed upon primary consumers, and primary consumers feed upon the primary producers. So all these are different trophic levels. This is one trophic level, this is one trophic level, this is the other trophic level, and this is the tertiary consumers trophic level. The primary producers are known as autotrophs because they make their own food. The primary consumers are called heterotrophs, and all the trophic levels above the primary consumers would be called heterotrophs, because ultimately they don't make their own food and rely on the trophic level below them. Hence all the trophic levels above the primary consumers and including the primary consumers will be heterotrophs. And in case of animal kingdom, the primary consumers would be called as herbivores, whereas the other two above them would be called as carnivores. As you may see, trophic levels basically depend on the nourishment. That is, one trophic level has a certain kind of nourishment that is taken up by the organisms present in that trophic level. Energy flows from one trophic level to the other, from lower level, that is from a producer level, to a higher level, that is a carnivore or a heterotroph level. Here we have mentioned a few model questions. Please answer them. With this we have come to the end of today's session. These were few basics about energy flow and trophic levels. See you in the next session. Thank you.